Greetings in the precious divine name of the Most High, His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie the First, Jah Rastafari. You're in tune to Ras-Berry Radio 101.1, the best thoughts from Andrew Show. This is the Temple of Enlightenment. Your host, that would be me, Andrew Tafari, here with you again on this. Today's a beautiful morning, this Wednesday morning. Yeah, so you know what I mean? The world is gone bonkers. Him, her, and everyone. The world is gone bonkers. Everybody stabbing everybody. Everybody shooting everybody. No one wanna help. The world is gone bonkers. Yeah. So the world is really gone bonkers, man. Listening to the news, hearing about people going into a party where people supposed to have fun and stabbing up people. Um, Parents starving children to death. I mean, the world just gone bonkers, and it makes you wonder, like, why are people hurting each other so much? And when I meditate about it, I come to the realization or the conclusion that people are frustrated when parents starve their child to death. Why? Think about it. What would drive no parent or no grandparents should starve their child to death? Why would they do that? They must be frustrated or fed up or crazy. And if they're crazy, what's sending them crazy? It must be the pressure of the time. People must be frustrated because lack of, I mean, not enough sufficient jobs. You know what I mean? Or maybe the pay that they're getting is not sufficient. But it must be the pressure. Why would a young kid take up a knife and go into a party? Listening to the news the other day and hearing about a kid taking up a knife and stabbing 5 people. Why would they do that? It must be that kid must have been. Yeah, they really need to look into the reason why. You know what I mean? The crime fighters and the government. You know what I mean? Instead of every day these politicians and these people getting up every day and running to go and fight, go to parliament and fight over this legislation and that legislation and who passed this and who passed that and who gave this and who gave that and all this nonsense. Think about why the people are doing this to each other. The people must be frustrated and they must be bullying each other. They must be pushing each other to do these horrible things to each other. You know what I mean? I mean, just in the past year, hearing about I don't know if I can't remember if it was a woman or a man or so leaving their little child in the car. Not even just children, but even their pets, even a dog. They left a dog in last summer. They left a dog. Someone left a dog in their car to swelter. Why are people being so evil? It's the pressure of the time. You know what I'm saying? And people have anger. And what I feel like is there's nowhere for people to go to there's no public facility to facilitate the people's needs of overcoming their frustration and their anger. So instead of the government, as I say, debating over legislation, or I'm going to sue you because you all this nonsense to distract the people from the fact that they have no clue or no answers about anything. It's just a popularity contest. Why don't you use that money and use your energy to build some sort of public community center where you have a public therapist, just like how you'd have a public hospital for those people who can't afford a private hospital or a private doctor. You know what I'm saying? And then hire somebody like me or a therapist to help these people somewhere where they can go. So when they get to that point, they can go there and identify what's driving them to be this cruel to each other. And then that would help to, I wouldn't say it would get rid of all of it, but it would stem some of those problems that we're facing in our communities every day. You know what I'm saying? So, I feel like, for example, like anger, something as simple as anger. Most people, they probably don't even, some of these people, like the kid that stabbed the 5 people, the 5 other kids in the party. Maybe he was pushed to that point. Maybe he was being bullied and he had no clue of how to deal with that, because sometimes there's people who they feel stuff internally and they never express it to other people. They never express these feelings to other people. So even his parents might have been great, excellent parents, but he might have been bullied in school by these same kids, but he never expressed this to his parents. So therefore, they didn't know that inside he was probably filled with rage and filled with anger. So his anger, because we know that anger creates confusion. Anybody we've all been angry. We've all exploded, and we know that that's not the right way, because we know that anger creates ignorance. We know that when people are in that state of anger, they don't think clearly and they do irrational things, which is the reason why we have all these people on the subway stabbing each other, people walking into places and shooting up each other, and all this nonsense is because these people are frustrated and they're angry. So if they just knew how to channel that anger and identify that they're feeling this way, because when I was 14 and I was attending a boarding school, I used to have issues with anger. I used to have a very bad anger problem. But if it wasn't for the fact that I was sent to a therapist or a counselor, which she was a very great counselor, I would have never known how to control my tantrums, and maybe by this point I'd have been in jail. But because I went to her and she gave me strategies of how to deal with those anger problems, and the other teachers and stuff around me, putting me through certain things, taking away certain privileges, it helped me to learn that anger is not the way. That there's another way how I can get this anger outside of me. Because the thing is, anger is something, and frustration is something that it's almost like if you ever had a boil. You know how the boil get, if you don't dress that boil or put some ointment on it to suck it out, it gets bigger and bigger and then it just explodes. That's what happens to these people. They don't know how to suck it out. Just like how with me now, I've learned how to suck it out. Like I talk about it, or I write about it, or I sing a song about it. So therefore, I've learned how to suck the anger out. So therefore, I don't unleash that anger on innocent people, or I don't take up a knife and stab people, or take up a gun and shoot people. But it's because I was privileged enough to have the opportunity to learn how to do that. But some of these people who live in the community, some of them have never been, and in the public school system, sometimes they don't offer this to the kids. So they come out of the public school system and they go to college and they carry all of that frustration of being, because some people are not good socially. So they feel isolated. They don't know how to relate to the community or relate to the people at large. And the people who have those skills naturally, they look down upon those kids. And instead of they help to bring them into the group, they exclude them more. And then that's why they end up catching one in the neck, or end up getting stabbed. Because that same kid that you're bullying, he's going to come and stab you. Why? Because he doesn't understand why you're doing that. And you're not being compassionate enough to help him to realize that he's someone too, or she's someone too. You know what I'm saying? And so this is why we have these problems. So, the government and the police and all these people, instead of every day, like if somebody commits these crimes, send about 50 billion police and a SWAT team and, shooting up the place and contributing to the anger, and throwing people on the ground. Why don't you sit down and think about building somewhere a community center in each community? If I had the money to do it, I would build a community center. If I was a government, I'd build a community center in each community with a therapist on hand. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, once you do that, you make people that realize that these resources are available to them, then they have no excuse. So if they do go and do it after that, then that would be that they're just playing a criminal. You know what I'm saying? But some of the people, I don't think all of these people are bad people. I don't think that all of these people are evil. I'm not saying that their act is right, by no way am I saying that their act is right. It's wrong to stab people. It's wrong to shoot people. But I'm saying I think some of these people, if they had the opportunity to to reach somewhere or go somewhere or have one of these facilities available to them, then maybe they wouldn't end up in they wouldn't end up doing those things. You know what I'm saying? And also too, I think, like I said, financial problems. You know, like we just came we the recession the other day. I think that drove a lot of people crazy because you know if you have to think about where you're gonna get the next dollar from and you don't know where the next dollar is coming from, a lot of people that drives a lot of people crazy. You know what I'm saying? And you know it drives them to steal. It drives them to do all of those things. You know what I'm saying? So the root cause of the problem. I'm not, as I said, I'm not saying that all people. The reason why all people do it is because of these reasons. Some people are just plain evil, but I'm saying not everybody does it because they're plain evil. A lot of people do it because they're frustrated. So you know what I'm saying. So stuff like frustration and anger. So this is why I know I'm giving you some. If you are one of those people who find yourself to be frustrated or anger, there's ways in how you can get out that frustration. You know what I'm saying? If you feel frustrated, like let's say you want to get a job, or and you're like me, I've been trying to get work and I can't get any work, right? But and it makes me feel frustrated. But instead of I get up every morning and get angry and hit the wall or attack people or go out on the street and rob, or no, I just do something like this. I say, okay, then I have all of this frustration in me. Why not share the way I feel with the world? So that way somebody else who feels frustrated can realize that they're not in this thing alone. So that's one way I can get out my frustration. And or a next thing I can do is I can get up in the morning and say, how about I go and jog? You know what I mean? I sweat out the frustration. And then maybe after I finish jogging and I come in, I'll be able to think more clearer. You know what I mean? Or write. I'm not saying everybody's a writer and can share their writing with the world, but write for yourself. Keep a journal and write the way you feel. You know what I mean? Or like I said, find a therapist. You know what I mean? Find a therapist and speak to someone. You know what I mean? And vent out your frustration rather than letting it explode. It's better to vent it than to explode it. Because as I said, you can make it be a bomb or you can make it be a vent. And venting it is better than exploding it, because when you explode your frustration, that's when people get hurt. Right? And it's the same thing with anger. Anger and frustration are the same thing. You know what I mean? So it's all about learning how to channel your anger. Because anger, even though it makes you feel horrible inside, it can be a positive thing. You can spin that anger into a positive thing. You can transfer. It's just energy. Like I said, anger is like it's like a boil. You know what I mean? But it's also like energy. It's like excess energy that something is building up this excess energy inside of you. You know what I mean? So what you have to do is learn how to transform that energy, that negative energy. Don't let the negative energy consume you, right? Because negative energy is like a black hole. It consumes, right? It destroys. So transform that negative energy into positive. You know what I mean? And let it drive you to do something positive. Just like in India, when the British colonized India, right? And Mahatma Gandhi, and he went through some horrible experiences. They treated him in an unfair way, or in a way that he deemed unworthy of people to be treated. So what did he do? He didn't go and take up a gun and started shooting up the place and killing people. He used those feelings that they caused him to feel, and he used it to create a whole mass movement, which got rid of the problem. Right? Civil resistance. He used his energy, channeled it to create something to overcome that. You know what I'm saying? Or, for example, when I heard about Michael Jordan's story, when the first basketball team he tried out for, he didn't meet the first basketball team. He was disappointed and all of that. But what did he do? He used that to make him train for an entire year. And you know what he did? He made the team the next year. And he made it to college. And then made it to the NBA and then became the greatest player. So he channeled all that anger into a positive way. You know what I'm saying? He channeled it into a positive way. And that's what I did. last year I was very angry about the things that had happened to me and the way people were treated in my final year of college, and I didn't get to attend my graduation at college and stuff like that because of choices I made. You know what I'm saying? But I was still angry about that. So what did I do? I created Earth Music Planet. I know I created Ras-Berry Radio. So no, I don't have that anger in me because I've vented it. You see what I'm saying? So instead of I could have easily taken the easy way out because that's the easy way out. I could have taken up a knife and go to the workplace and hurt people, but that's wrong because those people have family members who care about them. So I have no right to hurt them because I'm angry. You know what I'm saying? But what I have a right to do is create a Earth Music Planet, create the Ras-Berry Radio, write it, express my struggle, vent it out, and turn it into something positive, or or do something to benefit the community. Like a couple years ago, I went and gave a motivational speech to a school and performed for them and donated some money to them. That helped me to get out my anger by helping those people. It made me feel better. So these are the problems that we're facing in our community and in the world at large. And this is what I'm trying to say to the government. Stop trying to run the government like a business. If you want to be a business person, go and start a business. Go and run a coffee shop. Go to the pancake house, right? That's what I'm saying. Stop trying to run the government like a business. The government should be there. The government needs to turn. It is good. Actually, we need that too. That is good. Yeah, have that side of the government, but the government needs to have the community side of it. The side of it that's there for the community, the social side of it. You know what I'm saying? I don't see governments in the world. I don't see that side of governments. You know what I'm saying? I don't see where the government is doing anything to help the people socially. And then this is why we have these problems in the community, because the people are just left. They just think that they just have this notion that these people are adults, they should be able to just deal with the problem. But they're not being taught that in school. You know what I mean? And then the parents are so busy working a 9 to 5. Some of them working a double 9 to 5 because they come home from the day job and head to the night job because the pay is not sufficient. So the kids are left there to help themselves. You know what I'm saying? And then they grow up with all these problems. And not everybody's fortunate to be in a school situation where they have these type of people who will recognize these problems. Because we know that the government, they don't train the people to be good people. They just train the people to be robots. They just train the people to obey to a system. So that means they're channeling the people to the warehouse, which is wrong. And then they wonder why they end up catching one in the neck. You know what I'm saying? So help the community and help yourself. You know what I mean? If you feed the community, you feed yourself. If you hurt the community, you're going to hurt yourself. So that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying, let's start to help our community so we can quell some of these problems and some of these frustrations. And I think we need more music in terms of like not just an individual just to make money. I think we need more events in the summertime where the community can get together and know each other with positive music, not just some parade downtown in Toronto that the city is going to benefit from and some politician is going to pocket the money. I'm talking about something with music that can inspire people, can bring people together, healthy food, natural food, can make the community get to know each other, words to inspire them in love, words to inspire them in unity. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. I think we need more of that in the community. And this is why I speak, you know what I'm saying, to inspire people. It's not me. I'm not doing this for people to like me. I don't need no one to like me because I'm just flesh. You know what I'm saying? I'm just doing God's work. You know what I mean? I'm doing Jah work. Things that I don't see them doing in the community. You know what I mean? And as a leader, I feel like this is important. You know what I mean? I feel like this is important because how could I be a government and talk about, I want to fix the road and I want to fix this and I want to fix that, which is important. But if I don't fix the people's mind and I don't fix the social problems that the people are having in the world, then we can't have a better country. So what's the point of having all those nice things if the people aren't right? Because all what's going to happen is a lunatic is going to come and blow it up. And then that would be a waste of money. You know what I'm saying? So let's stem some of these problems by reaching out to the community and getting involved in our community and inspiring our community and teaching our community how they can deal with the problem. Because they're always just telling people, deal with it. It's not just deal with it. Don't tell me about just deal with it. Right? Because it's not just deal with it. You have to teach people how to deal with it. Not everybody knows how to deal with it. It's like a child. How you gonna just have a child at 16 and just put the child out in the street, and then you haven't taught the child how to cook, you haven't taught the child how to shop at the supermarket. How is a child gonna survive? That's evil. That's cruel. You know what I'm saying? That's wicked. You know what I mean? You can't do that to people. That's evil, and that's what I'm trying to say. So I just want to provide some of this knowledge that I don't see coming from up top, right? I want to provide some of this knowledge for the people. That's my contribution to society. You know what I'm saying? If I can't contribute money wise or because I'm poor and held down in poverty, I want to contribute and give back with knowledge. And it just so happens that because I don't know, I was blessed in a way to, even though I went through some of those situations, you know what I mean, some of those where I had to learn everything the rough way. You know what I'm saying? But learning it the rough way is good because now I know it. So because I know it now, it's my duty to create a guide, right, for all of the people to come behind me and those who are before me who have missed the lessons that they should have learned. So that's all I'm doing, and that's all I'm saying. That we need to make our community better. That's what today's show is about. To help the government and the people who listen, if they're listening right now, you, I mean you, the person who you have the power, I mean you know what I mean? I'm talking directly to you and to the people at large. You know what I'm saying? That we all need to come together, help to make our community better, and that's how we can make it safe. It's not just having 50 billion police patrolling the place. That's all well and good, but that just provides a false sense of security. But that's not dealing with the problem, right? The problem is you need to go into these communities, and if you don't want to deal with the regular people, the ordinary people, and go into the communities and stem some of these problems, you know what I mean, by providing the right education and the right inspiration to people, then why are you in government? What are you doing? Just going up there to lobby, to go and argue and show off and poop up in the no, you are in this thing to help people, right? So if you don't want to help people, then get out of public service. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm trying to say. So let's make our community better. Let's help our community. Ras-Berry Radio 101.1, the best thoughts from Andrew Show, the Temple of Enlightenment. Your host, which is me, Andrew Tafari. And remember, keep positive. Rastafari lives.